they ate the plants, and then you just eat them. So you are technically eating the plants, just one step removed. And there we go. Yeet! So yeah, basically, there's not a single nutrient that your body needs that you can only get from plants. And for basically every nutrient, you can get them in more, in higher amounts, in more bioavailable amounts through animal products. And there's a lot of compounds in plants that are just not necessarily good for you, like phytonutrients, oxalates, things like that. And also things that sort of pass the gut barrier, like wheat germ, that is just not very good. And so there's basically just no real nutritional requirement to have plants. What about vitamins? Every single vitamin that you need, you can get from animal products. Just think about it, right? Like, the animals that you eat ate the plants. They ate the plants, and then you just eat them. So you are technically eating the plants, just one step removed. And there we go. Yeet! That's just the average Yasukeh play. GG. Yeah, I am the only player in the world, basically, who does that. And I do that reliably, basically, every game. Tryndamere is a fun champion, yes. It's one of the most just broken ways to win, is I just read where the jungler is, and then go have a little fun with them at their camp, and then fight them for it. Junglers are not good at all when it comes to reacting on the fly. Junglers have a set path of what they want to do, and they just do that. So when you make plays like that, where I ruin the enemy jungler's pathing, now all of a sudden, their preconditioned plan that they have to come up with an entirely new one, and it's going to be super suboptimal because of that. There are only very few junglers who can actually deal with it. But yeah, so I just ate some chickens right there. I ate 2 animals that only ate plants, yeah. High skill expression, yes. Carnivore diet benefits, yes. You also need certain vitamins because of the way your body metabolizes plants. Yeah, there's a lot of things like, an example I could give is vitamin C. If you have a lot of carbs in your diet, you need relatively more vitamin C. Because vitamin C and glucose compete for absorption in the body. So if you have a lot of carbs, you need relatively higher amounts of vitamin C. So like, take the example of orange juice. When you have orange juice, okay, that's fair. Orange juice gives you some vitamin C, right? But it also gives you a ton of sugar. So even if you were able to absorb all the vitamin C, it'd more or less kind of be a wash. Tarzan can deal with it, he'd FF. Yeah. I've hard carried Tarzan, games against Tarzan by doing that. Oh, really? Like, I didn't kill him, but I stole a couple of his chickens. And because I stole some of his chickens on his path, he didn't hit level 3. And we were able to just starve him out of the jungle. He probably was tilted. He still tried to play, but it was just... kind of hard for him. I could have gotten that cannon. I inted really hard right there. And I can get one more plate and then back. We'll at least get the I can probably get the entire wave. Swag jacket, yes. It is very, very base jacket. Alright, and the reason I kill these bees is because they're too erratic. I can't trust them to do normal bee behavior. Because sub ended, now I gotta watch ads. Oh no. What's the song's name? Listen in, type in playlist commands. Don't count as regular sugar from sweets. Because of the idea of it being binded with fiber so that it gets digested slower. But like, there's a lot of things about fiber that are just not... No, bro. Fiber just has no need in the diet outside of the context of having plants. Fiber can be useful in some contexts, like as a way to displace sugar in fruit. But overall, like, there's just zero dietary need for fiber, and there's a lot of negatives to it. Like, a lot of fiber can pass the gut barrier. So if your body is basically a donut. Like, ass to mouth, you're a donut. And things that get into the body in ways that they're not supposed to through the donut is really, really bad. And fiber is something that goes through that. How well figured out is nutrition science at this point? Not at all. It's such an incredibly primitive field. Nutrition science, there are no claims in nutrition science that can be counted as evidence-based medicine. There's not a single claim that you can make in nutrition science that passes a certain bar of validity. It's basically all pseudoscience. See the runes? Sure. There you go. Feeling cold out there? Not particularly. We just did some workouts. I'll stay. I don't see how nutrition can even be a science. It really can't. You can't do proper scientific protocols in nutrition. It's just impossible to have controls, and without controls, you're not science. Like, observational studies are not scientific. Nice. Okay, I get one. I'll let them get the rest. What's the meaning of the name Yasukeh? So the idea of the name Yasukeh is... there was an African samurai in feudal Japan who was the first foreign samurai and the only black samurai in feudal Japan. The idea of the name Yasukeh is making something of yourself in a place where you don't belong. I don't really feel like I belong on Twitch. People of my personality type don't really do this. And Yasukeh, the samurai, wasn't really somebody who belonged in feudal Japan. But he made something of himself in a place where he didn't belong. So I don't feel like I belong on Twitch, but I'm determined to make something of myself, just like Yasukeh. Damn, that's cool, mates. Yes. Meanwhile, every other Twitch streamer be like, I made this name when I was 10, making my Roblox account. My sister came up with my name. Also, hi, yes. Netflix animation about Yasukeh, I haven't heard too much about it. Yeah, that show is about me. I haven't watched it because why would I watch it if I lived it, you know? I could have killed him earlier, but I have too much gold. My bullies came up with my name. Yeah. That's good. My sister came up with my name. Well, I don't know about you guys, but my parents came up with my name. When I was born, they came up with my name. Yeah. Like the idea of killing mobsters and drug dealers vigilante style. That's fair. Swatting bugs and sweating enemy champions, yes. Like, it's... There's a beehive in the tree over there, right? There's a tree over there that has a beehive inside of it. And the bees look at this light right here, and they think it's the sun. So it completely ruins their day-night cycle. So they just go completely crazy. They go so crazy. And they end up, like, killing themselves. They hit the wall right here over and over again until they stop being able to fly. Yeah, so... Like, they're just so erratic that it's like I have to make sure that they don't, like, erratically sting me. Yes, I did just soy point. Soy point to the bee tree. Yes. That even comes from a similar story to Yasukeh. Go on. Why don't you find yourself on Twitch? If you spend a couple hours here, you'll understand. You'll understand what I mean, Conky. If you spend a couple hours here. I'll talk about enough schitzo shit that it's like, yeah, you'll understand. I love schizo shit. Yeah. Juan Cabello vibes. Not sure who that is, but we can find out. Warhammer 40k, but I mixed some letters around. Oh, that makes sense. One of my old roommates named himself after a book character from Dune. What, bro? Thank you to follow. You'll know after the first seed oil rant. Yeah. I am a seed oil disrespecter. Do PBI, thank you to follow. All my homies and I hate seed oils. That's how you would accurately say it grammatically. Alright. I probably could have played that a little bit better. I think I messed up. I slowly died to the burn until I get my... Oh, yeah. Yeah, can somebody help me with this? Deathgate Cycle Series. Yeah, your name seems like something from something. Fraga, thank you to follow. But there's this one principle in, like, it's a principle that's big in a lot of different ways of thinking, but also, especially, like, occult thinking, is what you name something gives it value. What you name kind of defines what it is. Like, there's so much to say in many ways that, like, there's value in, like, if somebody is named Steve, there's a lot of reasons why they're named Steve. It's not just a random name that the parents picked. Like, most Steves have a very specific personality compared to, like, a John, or a Karen, or a Maximilian, you know? Triumph OP or Triumph OP? I like it. Even though something's true name, you have power over it? Yes. Death Note. Robs are always solid. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I wonder why you think that Robs are solid. City AFC, thinking to follow. Is League my passion? Seems like you'd be a good academic. I would actually be the worst academic you could think of. Like, I am way too schizo to be an academic. I would not be allowed to be in the field of academia. I rock the boat too much. And academia, it's basically anti-rocking the boat. The way that academia is set up heavily disincentivizes people to come up with new theories and new ideas. What do you mean too schizo to be academic? Take one example, right? Does this mean I'm half solid? Yeah. It means you're only solid through the middle, you know? Steve is my dad and John is my grandpa. I'm speaking literally to you, Ska A MPS. I'm literally speaking to you. This stream is explicitly for you. Why Gale Force? Because Vexus told me to. Mid is a dog? I mean, if you say so. If you say so, Mr. 1 in 5 Viego. Academia thing can often be around topics which shift funding away from certain research and institutions. I mean, yeah, that's also another thing, is that, like, if I want to research something, I just want to research something. I don't want to have to worry about, like, oh, can I convince somebody to get grant money? Because I know quite a few people who are scientists. And one thing that several scientist people that I know talk about how they're oh yeah, several research scientists I know will talk about how their, like, a research professor just straight up lies and falsifies stuff to get more funding. And they say that this is a super common thing that their research professor does. And then they never extrapolate it out. So they're like, my research professor lies all of the time to get funding. But then they just automatically trust everybody else's science and assumes that nobody else is lying. Oh, on screen, the science of staying the hell alive somehow. Yeah. Staying the fuck alive. It's like, if you look at where the people who did the most scientific discoveries, they did it outside of academia. Like, most of the best science that's going on today is outside of academia. Philosophy is okay. Mike Tyson is the greatest philosopher of the past 50 years. And he's not in academia. But Mike Tyson, with everything that he said in his prime, like, he was saying some just primordial truths. Ansel Keys, yes, Ansel Keys is... I don't want to say that Ansel Keys is the Antichrist, but if anybody... Might as well be. Mike Tyson is a tagger, he knows what's up? Yes. I mean, because also, he studied philosophy more than other philosophy people did, most likely. Like, he legit read up on a lot of philosophy. I want to rip his heart out and feed it to Leonard Lewis. Yeah. I mean, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth is just straight up poetry. Goodbye. Goodbye. And good night. You know who Mike is scared of? Mike fears... I can't say the joke. It's too much. Just know that I have a funny joke that's not appropriate for Twitch. Frozen High, thank you to follow. Fish biologist is the father of cardiology. Wait, who was? Yeah, what Bob Ross said. Goodbye. Send it in Discord right now. Sounds good. Type it? I can't type it. That's still on Twitch. It's not even a good joke. Trust me, it's not even a good joke. It's not a good joke. I think I'll take a bath in his blood. Yes. Oh, that's sad. But ultimately, it's like you can't learn philosophy in an academic setting. You learn greater truths through like doing things. There is just an objective truth in the universe, right? There are just things that are just true. And when you go out and do things, you reveal the truth. Alright, hang on. Watch this. Okay, I was just gonna Gale Force to get the kill, but decided I didn't need to. My philosophy degree, yes. My words are true, according to the philosophy degree. Therefore my word is correct. Re-Ayuded or something? Do you leave all your gear outside overnight? I bring in the PC and the GoPro. Everything else is like cheap as hell. I need to stop saying that. Surviving war must make you a great philosopher. It's really just kind of interesting that PTSD more or less is a modern concept. Like, the problem is, like, I'd say a lot of things about PTSD are more about not necessarily what happened in the wars, but what happened when they came back from war. Like, the society after, like, World War I and World War II just wanted to forget. They wanted to ignore the war and pretend that it didn't exist. They wanted to ignore and pretend that the warrior's trauma, the soldier's trauma, just didn't exist. They didn't want to hear the war stories. Because those war stories would just be reminding them of the war that they just didn't want to hear about. Sub-Zeros? What's up, Ben? Said it's God, he fears only God. And it's you through 5G. That's the only reliable communication source. That's fair. How you feeling today, King? We are feeling just great. Just as good as our games are going. Alright, yeah, I would prefer if he tanked this right now. But yeah, thank you guys all for watching. That's just a straight up perfect game from beginning to end. Literally 0 deaths. We just banged every single fight, every single time. We just get out with 1 HP. One of the few 0 death games that you can see where people actually take risks. Because I take risks. Because I'm just built different. I also eat nothing but animal products. See you guys all in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. Good night. Yeet!